And welcome back to EWC Central. We will continue our coverage of Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, as well as Honor of Kings in just a few minutes' time. But I have a very special guest on the sofa with me, and I actually have my microphone working this time. Apologies about that small delay. The guest that I'm about to introduce, she goes by CHERRYGUMMS, also known as Nicole. She's the CEO of Black Dragons. And the main thing that I want to talk about is Quake, but we'll do all the other stuff as well. Talk about the organization, talk about Rainbow Six. CHERRYGUMMS, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time. Could you introduce yourself to our viewers? We're a multi-game broadcast, so this is for the people who don't know Black Dragons, who don't know Rainbow Six.
Thank you so much for the invite. Hello guys, my name is Nicole Mejia. I'm also known as CHERRYGUMMS. I'm an influencer from Brazil. I'm CEO of Black Dragons, CEO of Game Code, which is a gaming agency in Brazil. I've done a lot of things in the world of esports. I've done a lot of trips worldwide to championships, to be an influencer as well. And I have a really good journey to tell you at your home and to you here at EWC.
Thank you so much. Now, the introduction is fantastic. I think in terms of the experience, as well as the role that you play in the organization is fantastic. I want to get to that in a minute. But one of my producers mentioned that you were interested in Quake. And I started to do some reading, started to look up at the competitive background and your love for the game. Just to quickly outline it, Quake is one of the games I started in. I played on the CPMA mod, Quake 3, I played Quake Live. I competed against Fatality. It was a show match, but in South Africa, Creative actually brought him out. I played against him in Quake Live, Quake CPMA, as well as Painkiller. He destroyed me. He destroyed me.
Yeah, fatality is fatality.
What's your history and your exposure with Quake?
Yeah, so, well, I'm young, I would say, for Quake. Quake, I don't know, it was released in 95?
Yes.
97, something like that. I was born in 97. So how was it introduced to the world of Quake? My father was a PC technician.
Oh.
So he taught me, just like my sister, he taught me to play Quake. When I was 6, 7 years old, I played a demon game with a lot of blood.
Yes.
And I got like amazed. It was really amazing for me. I've never played any other games when I was younger. Quake for me was everything. And then my father taught me. And then, well, I grew up in 2000. Well, I started playing Quake when I was 7, so it was around 2006, 2007, something like that.
Wow.
Maybe plus like that. And then Quake in Brazil, sadly, we didn't have QuakeCon, we didn't have esports scene just like we do nowadays.
Yes.
Actually, back in those times, we had nothing almost.
Very different.
We have like a trophy would be a mouse or maybe a keyboard, something like that. But I was super young, so esports for me was not a thing.
So very quickly, what are some of your favorite players that you remember watching, or that
Cypher.
you supported? Yeah.
I'm not from Fatality.
Okay.
I didn't see Fatality play.
For me,
I met him.
Oh.
I asked him how was his average of the lightning gun.
Yes.
Back in those times, the lightning gun used to do
It's
like
tracking.
that. Yes. Yeah. Nowadays, it's like stuck.
Yeah.
But now, back on those times, it was like that. And he had almost 40 of average.
Yes.
Like 40 of average of a shaft lightning gun like that. It's not easy.
I wish more of our viewers truly understood how good that was.
Yes.
I was always a Cooler fanboy. His predictive rocket.
Yes.
Okay.
Cypher, the hang,
yes.
Rafa.
So strengths.
Cypher, the hang, and Rafa.
I'm going to do one last one. Strengths from Fnatic. He actually trained me. There was another game called Shoot Mania that came out. Now, anyways, none of these games are here. Please bring them back next year.
Yes.
Let's turn our attention to the EWC. Let's turn our attention to Black Dragons. Tell me about the organization. You're a CEO. You have a Rainbow Six Siege team here competing. What do we need to know about another hugely popular Brazilian esports organization? And what are their chances in Rainbow Six Siege?
Yeah, Black Dragons was one of the first, maybe the first team worldwide to compete in Rainbow Six Siege. So to talk about Rainbow Six Siege, I need to talk a little bit about Quake.
Okay.
I was playing Quake. Now, in 2015, it was Quake Live, not Quake 3 anymore, Quake 3 Arena. Yeah. But in community in Quake Live, it didn't exist. So we changed it. Like Black Dragons, it was a clan
Yes.
from
Yes.
Quake.
Yes.
I was the first female athlete to enter Black Dragons.
Wow.
Black Dragons was founded in '97, the year that I was born.
Wow.
And I entered in 2014 as a member, as a crew member, as a team member. And we played a lot of scrims in Quake Live. And in 2015, the Quake community got really, really bad. It was other games was being released, and such as Rainbow Six Siege. So Rainbow Six Siege got released in 2015 to 2016. So we from Black Dragons, as a clan, not as a team, a professional team, and a company, we as a friend, we said, okay, let's try this one. We bought a bundle of games that came with an alpha key from Rainbow Six Siege in 2015, 2016. So in 2016, we entered the game. I was the only one and first female athlete to compete entire one competitions against men. In 2016, the entire year of 2016, I was competing Rainbow Six Siege. But why? Because we came from Quake,
Yes.
so we had good aim,
Yeah.
we had good movements, we had a team called Black Dragons, which was a clan. So we entered the scene in 2016 as a team, and here we are. So we've been in Siege since the founding, like in 2016. We are the oldest team worldwide in Siege. We were the first team to be in the pilot program skins, where you can
Wow.
sell skins inside
Yes,
Rainbow
yes.
Six Siege. We was the first team to have Charm in 2018. So 2016, the entire year, I competed against people that are competing today, like Nesk.
That's
Nesk is in
fantastic.
Team Liquid. I competed against him. Cyber is in FaZe Clan. I competed against him. And other players that I cannot remember right now. So in 2016, I played entire year as a player. But sadly, well, as I was also one of the owners of Black Dragons,
Yes.
because I partnered with the founder, things got expensive. I was 19 back in those times, so I needed to pay the bills for Black Dragons.
Yes.
And I stopped my career as a professional player to become an influencer.
I mean, that's fantastic. And also, the thing is, it is definitely commendable because not every professional player also has additional skills to be able to be a CEO, to be able to, run an
I started
organization.
as a CEO.
Yes.
Actually, Black Dragons was a hobby that became
Became the job.
became a job.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for me, playing video games became a hobby that I took seriously and tried to have fun, that then became a job in commentating and broadcasting.
Yeah.
And now we're here at EWC.
Yes.
As somebody that has seen esports develop,
Yes.
somebody who has a phenomenal family and father to teach you about
Yes.
the game, amazing.
Yes. His
What is it
nickname
like-
is Vice Fooder.
Vice Fooder, okay. What does it mean and how does it feel for an organization to be here? I've had the pleasure of being here for 5 weeks. The number of Brazilian teams across every single title.
Yes.
And I know how powerful Brazilian fandom is.
Yes.
What's it like being at EWC and competing?
I came here as an influencer, a global influencer. Sadly, Black Dragons didn't qualify. We went to the finals of the winners bracket, but W7M, which is here, beat us. So we went to the lower bracket, and Team Liquid got the last spot.
Right.
But no problem. We just changed a player. We sold, sorry, my English. We sold Loida, which is a player, to G2. So the team that we were playing was not
Gelling.
balanced because
Yeah.
we just changed a player. But we were really good. But being here as an influencer and also entrepreneur from the scenario and someone who has been in a lot of championships worldwide in 8 years, this is mind-blowing. We look like Disneyland for esports. Sorry, but this is Disneyland for esports.
Can I tell you, CHERRYGUMMS, I've done several interviews over the weeks. That sentence is the first time I've heard it, and I'm going to steal it from you because I think it's fantastic. I've got one slightly business thing to do. I'd like to take a look at the club championship and the points that have come up. Team Falcons are currently leading. They've got a
Yes.
significant amount. But to think that there's these organizations from Brazil to Southeast Asia, China, America, like it's all over.
Alpha 7 is Brazilian. Also,
Exactly.
Also, the CEO is a woman.
Petala.
Petala.
Petala. It's so hard. I'm trying to do Portuguese.
No
but
problem.
I had the opportunity to speak to her
It's
last
her
week.
and her sister.
Inspiring, and the mother started the organization,
Yes.
the three of them.
Yes.
The words that Petala told me last week was that during COVID, they spent a lot of time playing PUBG Mobile, and that's where the inspiration came from.
Didn't know that.
Yes. How nice is that I get to
Yes.
share the story?
Yes.
Look, I wanted to say thank you for taking the time. I also want to commend you. I put my foot in my mouth and I used a sentence where I said, old people quake. No, no, no. It's veteran, it's experience, it's taste. You have a connoisseur of esports, but also you're here representing Black Dragons. What does the future look like for you, for the organization, before we wrap this up?
We are seeing a new era of esports after the pandemic times, right? We saw a huge audience and a huge payments, not only for publishers but partners as well, in the pandemic times. Yeah. Nobody was watching soccer because soccer was not possible. Nobody was watching concert because it was not possible.
Yeah, they were watching our games.
But esports was possible. So we entered in a bubble, I would say, from 2020 to 2022. So we now broke that bubble.
Yeah.
And we are seeing different companies worldwide, such as Heroic bankrupting, FaZe Clan that changed owners, and a lot of different organizations, not only Americans, Europeans, but Brazilians as well. So I think we are now in a step where we are balancing the esports in general,
yes.
Like the partners entering and leaving, the players wanting better salaries, but like the structure got different. Publishers stopped giving the revenue that helped the games and helped the organizations to continue competing. So we are now balancing, I would say, balancing the esports scene. But from 2016, when I started as a professional player, to 2024, nowadays, I've only saw growth.
I mean, look, I think this is inspirational. I think this is exciting.
This is mind-blowing, and I need to say thank you to Saudi.
Can you say it to number one? That's great.
Thank you to Saudi for opening, first of all, your country for a multicultural countries and multicultural
and multi-game tournaments.
Tournaments, exactly. More 21 precisely, right?
21 games,
titles.
22 tournaments.
Yes.
1,500 games.
This is something different, and we just saw KOI, which is we call it KOI, but the Olympics just told us because of the Saudi also that we were gonna be in the Olympics. We don't know yet the games.
Well, listen, I do have to move us along.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna ask one last thing. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Obrigado is thank you.
Yes.
And then is it enamos for like let's go? Enamos.
Vamos.
Vamos is the normal one.
Vamos.
Vamos is the normal one. But there was a special one. I'm gonna have to review. Petela taught me one last week.
Maybe you're not saying precisely, and I can understand.
CHERRYGUMMS, thank you so much. Your story is inspirational. I wish you and the Black Dragons all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We should play Quake against one another.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. Before we get the boys back on the couch to talk about Laxing's Rainbow Six predictions, let's hear from Team Bliss's Sagon in the ALJ interview.